Good morning from the Pastords. We're together once again in Huntsville, and
I love you over there.
I I love you so much. I can't
This is
even. This
beautiful.
is beautiful. We've been
Yes.
apart for so long. Roger's going to use my armrest today, which is better than his hand floating lifelessly in the air, which it. What is it? Oh, so big news, Raj. I'm on a new diet, which is when I say diet, now I hate to say diet because diet makes everyone cringe. There's like diet. Because when I think of diet, I cringe because I
Right.
want to just eat whatever I want to eat whenever I want to eat
Is
it.
it telling that the first three letters of diet are die?
Oh gosh, I never thought about that. It is telling. So,
I mean,
so
let's just go ahead and diet.
diet. So I've been listening to this wonderful little 70-year-old lady in um, New Zealand or Australia, somewhere over there. Her name is Barbara Quigley. I can
In some other
I can
land.
never. She's Seventh Day Adventist lady, but she's like a scientist, doctor,
Hmm.
and holistic health person. So Marlene and I have been listening to her. Anyway, she was the first person to explain why things happen. I mean, I always knew the what. Oh, if you eat refined sugar and refined flours, bad things are going to happen. You're going to get fat. You're going to be depressed. There's all sorts of things. But no one told me why, so I'm just like, I don't buy it.
Right.
I'm not.
And I like those
I'm
things.
not getting. I'm not giving up sugar
I
and
like
flour.
refined
Right.
things.
So
I have refined taste.
I like the refiner things of life.
Right.
So just on a whim, 2 weeks ago, like the Monday, two and a half weeks ago,
I'm just gonna.
I'm just going to take sugar out of my diet and flour out of my diet and rice and potatoes and starchy stuff. So I can have all the meat, dairy, vegetables that I want. Meat, dairy, and vegetables, which I love those.
Right.
Like I can put like a cup of sour cream on just about anything and just make it lovely. I mean, just
Right.
Marlene's like, that's not a dollop, that's a chunk.
Right.
And so, but okay, so just what our listeners know. So what's happened
I,
is
I'm here to help you.
all I was trying to do was attack belly fat. That was it, which is pretty much gone. I mean, it happened. It starts melting like that. It's interesting.
Okay.
What I did not realize was how it affected mood. Like I'm in a much better mood. I'm like, that's interesting. And then the
We're all
second,
cheering for
we're
that.
all cheering for that. Mood is
A
good.
refined Bruce.
But the most staggering thing is I have no more pain. So, I mean, we've all heard this. Pain is directly related to inflammation. And so what do we take for inflammation? We deal with the what? Oh, I've got pain. I'm going to take ibuprofen, which is slowly eating away the lining of my stomach. But if you instead go to the source, why do you have inflammation? Crazy idea. I wonder why more doctors don't do this. I wonder why Bruce has inflammation right there. Could it be his diet? So I changed it and literally, okay, hip pain gone, back pain gone, shoulder pain gone. Like all these aches and pains. I literally thought I'm just going to have these the rest of my life.
Right.
It's just I'm growing older.
Aging.
So this is staggering, and then we'll get off this. But I did a 25-mile backpacking trip over the weekend. So up and down mountains, 4,000 feet down, then up to 4,000 feet again, just all over the place. I got in the car after that trip, drove 5 hours back home, and got out of the car without a single thing sore, achy. Like I stood up straight out of the vehicle. After the hike, the guys, we just sat down for an hour and a half to eat dinner, because we do highs and lows in hot springs. And literally, I jumped up from the table and ran across the street because I wanted to see the pictures of the flood that had come through. And they were like literally creaking. They were like, oh my gosh, I can barely. I jogged.
Right.
I'm like, this is. See, so now Roger's great challenge is because Roger's making dinner tonight. How are we going to make anything good and yummy that doesn't have flour, sugar, starch? Um, Good luck with that, buddy.
Yes, I received the challenge, and you will have your own plate.
The good news is I can have all the bacon wrapped fillets that I want with cauliflower potatoes and broccoli. It's yummy. So that was just my little freebie for all of our listener viewers today.
This might save you so much pain and heartache.
Do you think we should start a podcast, Growing Up Swiftly? Did- so, okay, hold on. We'll get to that in just a minute. One last thing. This is huge. You've got your Patriots thing on. I should have my Broncos thing on. Uh, okay, so people are leaving the stadium after the third quarter. All right. The Giants are up
Right, like,
19-0. It's just like the Broncos have done nothing. It's like
right,
everyone's going home. We're all very sad. After this 3-game winning streak, all of a sudden we just go flat.
totally cold for
I mean,
3 quarters.
For 3 quarters, like we don't have a team. And the defense is playing their heart out just to keep it to 19. But at a certain point, they start losing interest too.
Right.
It's like if the offense doesn't score, it doesn't matter if we hold the other team to just 3 points. We still lose.
Right.
At some point, and this was one of the Broncos' problems a year ago. At some point, you do, no matter how good the defense is, at some point you have to score a point.
Right.
And last year the number was 17. Or I think it was 18. So if we had scored 18 points, we'd have won like more of our games than we did. I think we still went to the playoffs.
Right.
But so we scored 33 points in the fourth quarter and beat them 33-32 to now be on a 5-game win streak. 5 game, I don't even know what it is.
4-game.
4-game win streak. Leading division. So yummy. And tell us about those Patriots.
No, it's the comically same story. Have a 4-game winning streak, lead our division, like you guys do. And I think people had more expectations for Denver than they had for the Patriots coming into the season. I mean,
You guys were like what, 2-14 last year or something?
We had 4 wins.
4 wins.
The last 2 years, we had a total of 4 wins each year. And so this year was the expectations. Although, okay, new coaching staff, Vrabel coming in, Josh McDaniels, your quarterback from last year at least looks promising. So this, yeah, I'm not sure people expected 5-2 leading the division, but
no,
it's fun.
And who knew that Drake May was going to turn things like that?
Oh,
a little bit like Jaden Daniels' effect on the Commanders.
And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what holds, but he has like zany statistics for accuracy.
Yeah.
And he's not just doing check down. I mean, he has the best accuracy downfield, throws downfield in the NFL. I mean, and
it's the NFL. That's the thing. It's the NFL.
Right.
The safeties are faster, the corners are faster, everything's bigger and faster, and you're still making those throws.
And
crazy.
No interceptions the last 3-4 games. And yet last game his passing percentage, it was 21 of 23, 91%, highest in Patriots history.
That's crazy.
Which means higher than another quarterback that the Patriots used to. No, he's right now doing things, that again, like
Brady like that.
Right.
Well, and Bo Nix he's not just managing games. If you can make a fourth quarter comeback and believe and all that stuff, I mean, the kid is, I shouldn't call him a kid. He's actually aging. He's rather elderly, but
ask his grandkids.
I'm really impressed. I'm impressed with his decision making. Even some of his interceptions I've seen this year were tips. He throws it in his guys' hands, and the announcers are like, "Oh, you got to make that catch." I mean, you have to make that catch because if you don't, safety is right behind it. He's just going to scoop it up. Anyway, it's great to have an NFL team that's doing that well when Tennessee is on the struggle bus. Oh, and by the way, Vandy's in the top 10, and we play them later. And Oklahoma. Thankfully, Mizzou's off the schedule.
But those are your chances
to
get back in the playoff race.
Exactly. We have to
win those games.
You got a good shot. To New Mexico State, which is the kind of thing Tennessee does to you. You're just rolling along. You've won all the games you're supposed to, and then New Mexico State has a flare up, kind of like a hemorrhoid, and it's just like boom. Now we're in the struggle bus. You're not getting the playoffs at that point. But we have 2 quality losses. That's even what ESPN is calling them. They're quality losses.
Well, and it means something. They've lost the games people expected them to lose, and they've won the games people expected them to win. And there were plenty of seasons where the games they were expected to win, they were losing some of those.
Right.
The Arkansas and
And I'm not going to complain about a 9-3 year because we did that when we had Philip Fulmer and then went through 20 years of purgatory trying to find a coach that could get us just 8 wins.
Yep.
8 would be fun. So we'll see what happens. I'm still a Tennessee fan, but doggone it. That Georgia game is the one that stinks. because that was at home. We should have won that one.
Yeah.
Anyway. So Roger picked a very exciting song today. I only am familiar with one Taylor Swift song, even though she has 360 number one hits.
Right.
I'm clearly not a Swiftie. The only song I was familiar with until this week, let's say yesterday, was "I am never, ever, we are never, ever, ever getting back together," which I thought was clever. Ever.
So you hadn't heard Shake It Off,
Nope.
and you hadn't heard I Knew You Were Trouble When You Walked In. I knew
I haven't.
you were
Trouble
trouble
when
when
you
you
walked
walked
in. I've heard that,
in.
but I always switched it. Like if it came on, I'm just like on to the next thing. I'm just not a Swift person. I'm not a big pop music person in general, but apparently she's amazing, and that there's that. So Roger, tell us what song you chose for this week on the
Well,
Pastords.
part of her fascination with Taylor, and this is just what I love about musicians.
Yep.
It's what I love about this wrinkle to our podcast is being able to talk about music and musicians. Like she started off country. Her first hit song was literally named Tim McGraw.
Really?
Um,
See, did not know that.
so she launched in country. She has branched now into almost every imaginable musical genre.
Yeah, she even had a little bit of like rap built into this,
Folk
didn't
indie and pop and rock and I mean and ballad and so she anyway and I love diverse artists. I love people that can cross anyway
Yeah,
genres
it's
and
it's like Chicago. Like they're I think one of their producers like you just need to be a rock band. They're like, no, we're an
we
orchestra
did
band.
right.
Right. We're gonna do the music we want to do. And good for them they did, which with their strings and their
But they
brass and
could
their
yeah throw in a
they
rock
could do a
song
rock song.
right
They could do the ballads. I don't know if they did country, maybe.
right.
That would be
Let's hope not.
wow. A country song from no.
No, but I was thinking I think we got need to give a nod to Taylor to even to get a chance to talk about what she's done, even in the music industry. The song I chose was AntiHero. AntiHero,
How did
however,
you do that? Did you think it was predestined, so you didn't really choose it? I don't understand. You air quoted.
right. Maybe it's related. Last week I technically chose the song, but you chose it, and
But that's because you gave me a couple of
oh
options.
yes, no, nobody's fault there.
And I've already got the song for next week in my it's so of it. We'll spring it on you later.
But AntiHero comes from her Midnight's album, whose claim to fame, I think it was 2022. It debuts, and every every top 10 song in the top 100, uh, the top 10 was entirely dominated by that. It's the only time
Taylor Swift's album.
right.
Like
The song Taylor Swift songs. So the only time, except she did it again with her. Oh, what was the name of the? She had another album, folk. She had another one where the top 14 songs were
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
That's crazy. I mean, that's obviously that's unheard of.
Right? No, it is unheard of.
How many number one songs does she have now? I know you know this.
Well, I get all these Billboard and who's got and top 100 and the Hot 100 and the pop, and
It's like the AP poll, the coaches poll, the Bruce and Roger
right.
poll.
So there's all these different, like these certified number ones. Well, I'm not sure.
Okay, and no one even knows what a certified number one is.
What I did see this morning again,
Like who certifies the number one?
anyway, she has done in multiple and again charted in the country charts, charted in pop, charted in rock, Billboard Top 100. So just a phenomenal artist. She writes or co-writes a lot of her own music.
Lyrically, she's pretty good.
Performer, right. Anyway, AntiHero is particularly for you, like someone who's not heard listener before. I mean, I don't know what the takeaway from AntiHero was. But it is fascinating. I will say this: it's fascinating. And maybe I'll lead this into this question.
13 certified number ones,
Okay,
according to Billboard.
thank you. Um, of all her songs, and she's had dozens and dozens that have charted.
Oh, I think she's one and done.
Yeah, this year's finally going to catch up.
When we say one and done, I mean 100 and done.
No, she just produced another album, put out another one a couple of weeks ago. And yeah.
Right, that was her 13th number one hit, October of 2025.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
But one of those number one hits was AntiHero. And when you look at her discography,
yeah,
it's the number one song from that Midnight's album, which was an extraordinarily popular album. One listing in terms of how many of her songs have been listened to, it was number 3. I'm curious, having listened to the song, what's the draw, do you think? Or what's the
well, my question is for you.
Okay.
Like which was, why did you choose that song? Because I have a takeaway on it, which is interesting. By the way, did you listen to the one that has the dialogue in the middle of it with the sister in
the video?
daughter-in-law?
The video?
Well, I'm just listening to it, so I don't know if it's a video. But the daughter, they're having this thing about the will. It's hilarious.
No, it is hilarious.
Preston, Chad, and Kimber.
It's the video. You got to go watch the video.
Yeah, you have to. Okay.
It's the video of AntiHero. So it has the regular song, and then they do this 2-minute break in the song where they do this. They have this moment with the siblings at the funeral.
Right.
Yes, that actually is from the
reading of the will.
The 5-minute version is from the.
I'm sorry. So back to your question, why did you choose it? I'm curious.
Well, there's different kinds of things. I like things that are thought-provoking.
Mm-hmm.
I like things that are honest and real. So where someone's talking about, there's some vulnerability, that kind of thing. We all have the songs. I mean, it has a catchy tune to it. I think part of the draw is where an artist captures human emotions and feelings. So where in there you capture this feeling, I'm not the person people think I am, or other people more beautiful, and I'm the monster on the hill, or and I'm not. I think people that she talked, the battle with depression and
what that depression
where artists are, where Amy Grant, where other artists I've heard in various songs or whatever, part of this vulnerability comes out, and you hear, part of the. I think that connects with people.
Absolutely.
So,
and I thought lyrically, without saying it, her reference to Frankenstein was so good. In other words, I could see it in my mind. This is when you think about songwriting or book writing or anything else, they'll always say show, don't tell. So you could say, I feel like Frankenstein.
Yes.
And everyone knows what you mean. But she doesn't say that. She said, sometimes I think everyone else is a sexy babe. And I'm the monster on the hill, slowly lurching towards your favorite city, because she's touring every city. And I'm like, isn't that interesting? So she's beautiful.
Right.
So this beautiful woman who still has a body image that at time tells her she's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that super vulnerable. And then what she talked about, depression, and what depression does to her. And then she goes, I end up in the room with all the people I've ghosted.
Right.
And I know that feeling. It's like, because when you're experiencing depression, you just don't feel like talking to anyone. It's not that you're deliberately ghosting people. You're just like, I don't feel like talking to anybody. It makes me very reclusive. So that part of the song I connected with. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm glad to know she's felt that too.
And the feeling that
because I guarantee you, everyone wants Taylor to be on.
Right.
Like if you're in the room, Taylor needs to be on if she's in the room. She's like, oof.
And that idea that she, like really every one of us at some level, we're aware of what people are saying. We're aware of what people think about us. At tea time, everybody agrees.
I'm the problem.
Right. In other words,
hi, it's me.
And then she's concerned about people, the people she's ghosted, what they think about her.
Mm-hmm.
They are haunting her. That's part of her.
Right.
where we've let people down, where we so I think part of that is like those are things people resonate with. You've probably seen in counseling, but I'm just talking everyday life. I've run into, let's say, beautiful women who don't think they are, or that are
Yeah.
that have there's image and there's and you're looking, but man, to think about how many of us, if not all, to some level, never feel like we maybe match up to what people think or see because we know the monsters inside, we know the
Yeah.
depression, we know the revenge fantasies, we know the
You have revenge fantasies? No, I do. I do have some of those too every now and then. It's like I was praying about it the other day. I'm like, why is it so easy to be mean? I mean, no, like in my mind, if I'm like, if you know, if someone does something that gets you a little sideways, I can come up with 100 snarky things, mean things. Oh, watch this. Hold my beer. I'm gonna come with it like doubly hard.
even aside, right? Yeah, I love that. Even aside from a revenge fantasy, the fun of a well-timed barb,
Right.
just a zinger,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, yeah, why do I want to do
And
that?
I'm not
Like,
gonna do that. And why do I want to expend any emotional energy coming up with, let's say, a snarky fantasy, a revenge fantasy? Oh, you do that. Watch this. And I've done it before. I
right,
realize that is that whole thing of not to over spiritualize it, but taking thoughts captive. If I ruminate about someone or something that really bothers me or it makes me angry, or I felt like I've been wronged, your brain can easily go to, well, if I wasn't a follower of Jesus, here's the things I would do. And then you can spend time ruminating on that. And it's like Jesus going, I'm out, buddy. Get back to we don't repay evil with evil. We repay
right.
evil with good. Now think about if you start ruminating on that, that actually gets pretty fun.
Oh yes.
Oh, this person's hurt me, betrayed me. Watch this. I'm going to do something beautiful.
Hmm.
You know, I'm going to bless them. I want to pray for them. All those things that Jesus talks about. But I realize it's just so emotionally healthy to not have revenge fantasies
Emotionally
or
healthy,
barb fantasies.
but there's this sort of temporary satisfaction, and
Oh,
it's
it's
temporary,
temporary, but
but
it,
very gratifying to get a good
but
good jab
but
in.
it puts me in a worse mood.
Of course,
That's what I've noticed. It just
no,
puts me in a worse mood.
it doesn't help. It doesn't, um, which I think even maybe that song gets at some point. Like, and she has some other, I think, vulnerable or self-aware kind of songs where she wrestles with some of those kind of things.
Well, and she even talks about, I'll stare directly at the sun, which is both reckless and harmful. Okay. But I won't look at the mirror. In other words, I don't want to look inside. I don't want to, because she starts out by saying, I seem to have this problem. I'm growing older, but never wiser. Because so that means
Right,
we're not practicing self-awareness, which is what would I do differently if I had to do that again?
right,
In other words, I made a mistake. It went poorly. The consequences are bad, but then I keep doing it. I mean, she's alluding to that.
right.
And then when she gets that, and because I thought that was the greatest line in the song. I'll stare directly at the sun. Reckless, very harmful to me, but I won't look into the mirror. I don't. Whether that's just body image, I think it's deeper than that. I mean, that might be part of it, what she sees in the mirror. But
Right.
I think it has to do with the decisions I make. In other words, even like it reminded me of Kid Rock's song that we did several months ago, where he's got this rock star life, but he's like, I ain't seen mine.
Yeah.
Things haven't come together for me, and I'm kid, the reason you don't have the relationships that you want are directly related to the decisions that you make every single day.
Yeah.
And those decisions have consequences. But I'm not, throwing kid under the bus. I'm just saying, in my counseling experience, that's part of my work is to, hey, we made this decision. How well did that serve us? Not well. All right, so what decisions can we make in the future that will serve us better? I mean, I really ask people to say, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do now? Because that's how you create a new neural pathway. What would I do if I had to do it all over again? Because you're going to be faced with a similar situation in the future.
Right.
And if you, what is it? It's the play dumb games, get dumb prizes.
Right.
If you keep doing the same thing, anyway. So I appreciated the vulnerability of that. I think Taylor, like us, why do I keep doing that? I did Oops, I Did It Again. Was that one of her songs or was that
No,
Britney?
no, that's Britney Spears.
Okay, sorry. They're all the same world to me. I'm not a pop music guy.
Britney, Taylor.
Whatever.
There's some pop that, anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's some pop that I like, but yeah. So I thought the lyrics, that one directly staring in the sun but not in the mirror, the depression and how it creates reclusiveness and ghosting, and then just the show don't tell part of the Frankenstein was so I could see it. I could see it in my mind. I feel like the monster on the hill slowly lurching. That's just a great word. I'm lurching toward. So lyrically, she's good. I mean, I get why
Right.
she's got 13 number ones and probably a.
Well, it's a catchy. I called it an earworm earlier off screen. It's just there's a catchy. What was funny with this song, and part of the reason picking it too, is like it's just not your typical. And who has the title of a song "AntiHero"?
Right.
Like, and apologies to my mom who passed last year. Like, I didn't know what AntiHero was. I'm an English major. I studied in mom literature and English, whatever. AntiHero. So I'm like, what is that? I knew she didn't
What
like
is
make
the,
up.
what is the technical definition of anti?
Well, this is what's interesting, and this is where the song took me on a bit of a different trail,
Tell us about your trail, Rod.
and an interesting insight God gave me into myself and others. So, anti-hero is a flawed hero. So you have the heroic person in a story. Actually, in a story, you can have a hero and a villain.
Protagonist, antagonist.
Right. So the hero is the good guy.
I also went to school.
The villain's the bad guy, and they're working against.
Right.
The anti-hero is the central character of the story. It can be the central character of the story, but it's a flawed hero. Maybe they're not super brave. They have flaws. They are morally questionable. So, like, if you will do a search, like in movies, books, anti-heroes can be people who you're pulling for, partly because they're flawed, like you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, did you say like me, as in like Bruce, or like?
Definitely. Like
it felt very direct. He used his finger.
But it was this finger. Anyway,
like you.
So, but even this idea that, because in the song, there's this moral flaws. I scheme. I
vices with prices.
I fake altruism. It's really narcissism.
Actually, that might have been the better lyric when she said, "Did you see my covert narcissism disguised as altruism, just like a congressman?" I was like, "That's good."
But this reality that I think people can relate to is the flawed hero. And the reality is when we see superhero stories, almost no one's like, we like want to be that, but it's like really the best we can pull off as anti-hero is even where people look at Swift as this hero with flaws.
You just nailed it. It's like, because Marlene and I watched a few of the Marvel series things, and we're doing that partly because we want to be able to connect with our son and daughter-in-law, because they've watched every Marvel movie. So we've like started at the beginning and we're like going through a bunch of them. The only person that we actually enjoyed was Iron Man because, Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
But all of them are a flawed hero.
Yes.
They've all got these, even like the Incredible Hulk. Well, the only time it does any good is when he gets furious. His rage, flaw, becomes his heroic moment.
And it's this reality.
Yeah.
And so Joy and I end up talking about this, where even whether it's a superhero, Marvel, or another story, you have someone who's fighting for some kind of good, but they cross a line.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, their moral compass is a little, it's overly simple to say, but if you start like, okay, a Robin Hood, okay, because exploitive rich people, we don't like that. We can pull for rooting for the anti-hero who crosses lines, who's morally maybe sometimes where we'd say normally so I thought like shows you're watching on TV, if something's egregious enough, like if you're watching an NCIS or detective show or a lawyer, whatever, and you've got a child molester, or you've got a spouse beater, or you've got, they're wrestling with, do I stay fully in the law here to get this person? Do I go out of bounds? And there's any number of times, like shows I like or watch,
Yeah, yeah.
where you find yourself
Rooting for them to go out of bounds.
rooting
to get the guy.
for the anti-hero.
Yeah.
So, but here was the insight. Here was the Holy Spirit ping. And he said, it's a very human thing, Raj. And so sometimes when I see people, let's say people are rallying around a political figure, a congressman, a president, if they believe in the cause enough, they can look past some of the moral flaws that normally they would call out.
Yeah.
And there's this been part of me that sees that in another person and wants to have a kind of, oh, hypocrite, right? You would normally call out this or this, but I realize, oh, I've pulled for the anti-hero at times. There have been moments, it helped me understand. It doesn't excuse, in other words, we deal with this wrestle of, does the law matter? Does doing the right thing matter? Like we grew up, the ends don't justify the means, but in real life,
until they do.
In real life, I haven't always lived that.
Yeah.
And I realized, well, not everybody else does. And it was at least a point of empathizing with the human reality of, if there's something we feel passionate enough about. And so there can be people who feel like an extraordinary passion around abortion and innocent, like, again, this is involving children, whatever. Yep. Does that become so huge that whatever any given politician who's on the right side of that does, it's like, okay, that's egregious enough, or it was just this thought coming out of, we do often root for the anti-hero. We do root for the flaw because it really is us.
I'm about to say, because outside of Jesus, they're all anti-heroes.
They're all, yes.
We're all anti-heroes. In other words, Jesus was the only person who did not go with the end justifies the means.
Right.
He was the only one that was completely pure in his motives, in what he said, and what he did. Where at best, we're not. I'll never forget what you told me when I was at a low point in my pastoring. Just decisions that I'd made, and I'm like, I'm just a train wreck, I'm just a train. And it's like, I think I floated the idea to you, why does God even work through me? Why does God even use me? And I'll never forget what you said. You're like, because you're always God. I mean, it's not that, it's just that
he's only ever used.
He's only ever had Davids and Sauls and Pauls and Peters and just train wrecks.
Right.
Anti-heroes.
Anti-heroes.
Yeah.
And I think part of the pull of that is there's a kind of hope in that. And we end up walking in the...
There's not kind of hope in that. There's extreme hope in
right.
that. That's not a glimmer.
Right.
That's big time hope.
But the tension is we have to keep fighting the monster on the hill. The part of us that's coming out that, okay,
we want to be lurching less.
It's like even that word where we can be angry about the right things that make God angry, but the righteousness of God doesn't always come out in our anger. And staying on the right side of that.
It says, in your anger,
don't sin.
Don't sin.
Right.
I mean, that's just profound.
And because the wrath of man doesn't tend to work the righteousness. So even where this is the thing, even if there's something I feel passionate about, we're always going to feel the pull to attack it in a wrong way or a flawed way or a way that, and I think it can even come up where we feel like the best weapon to pick up against a wrong thing is force or shame or fear, because those feel like they have a certain power. And God says, no, pick up the weapon of serving, compassion, forgiveness, humility. Pick up those tools. They're far more effective than you think,
Oh yeah.
but those are the um, yeah,
Well, and what I would tell Taylor, if I was talking to her, I would want her to understand the gospel. It's been
yeah,
more and more the last 3, 4 weeks. I've been just taking people to the gospel, the simplicity, the wonder, the beauty of the gospel, which is there's nothing that I can do to gain favor with God. There's nothing I can do to atone for my sin. The only thing I can offer to God is my sin, and just receive His love and His forgiveness. But as I've been preaching the gospel to myself, even looking back on my life, because I'm more I'm more retrospective now because I have more to retrospect on. But I look at some of the decisions I made, particularly early in life, and some of the things I really regret, like what I would call my biggest regrets. And I felt like God spoke into that moment, Bruce, you need to be kind to your younger self because you didn't know what you didn't know. You didn't even know how that would impact other people. You didn't even know how that would affect people that you love.
right,
In other words, you didn't know enough to even see the domino effect. You only knew one domino. You could see how it affect this domino, and you were willing to take the risk for this domino to fall.
right.
But you didn't realize that there was other dominoes in line behind that one. And so it's helped me even reconcile my past, the places in my past that are just hideous. I'm like, but I'm kinder to my younger self. I didn't know those things. And so when Taylor's like, I seem to be getting older but not wiser, I would say, you've got to be kind to your younger self. There's things you didn't know then that you do know now. Now we do
Right.
learn from those things, going back to what would I do differently, knowing
Right.
what I know now. But it helped me to not feel to feel maybe less like the monster on the hill lurching toward your favorite city. It's like if you ruminate too long about what you believe is the worst thing you've ever done, which I believe is different than what God would think is the worst thing you've ever done, by the way.
Almost certainly.
But if you ruminate on those things, you can just start buying into the accuser's lie because we do have someone whispering in our ear all the time,
Right.
the accuser, which is you're a bad person. You're just a bad person.
You're unlovable. You're unusable by God. You're right.
You don't matter. And I've told you before, that's the one that he tells me all the time. You don't matter. You don't matter.
Yeah.
And think about that, if that's the lie, because Jesus said he's the father of lies, and lies originated with him, then the opposite must be true, which is I matter.
Right.
And you matter.
Yeah.
And other people matter. I mean, it's the opposite of what the father of lies tells us. So that's been it's funny all the things that song evoked in me about, oh, that's interesting. Like even the whole older but not wiser. I'm sure she is wiser now, but at that space, she was like, why do I keep making it might have been relational mistakes?
Or it even feels that way.
Yeah.
You can be growing, but what you're talking about, we've talked about this so often, but here's the funny thing with AntiHero really is if you're focusing in on my flaws and all these things, the irony, and particularly with the power of God, where my flaws become a point of connecting with people,
Vulnerability,
growth, and changing people. So I've said it before, but part of the great power of your life flows out of the things you regret the most. In other words, without those, you wouldn't be the teacher you are. You wouldn't be the writer you are. You wouldn't be so it's where we even, not just being kind to that self, but recognizing that actually ended up when I let God have that thing.
Yep.
And maybe that'd be part of what I might say to Tiff. Yeah. When you entrust now I love what she did. She entrusted some of her frailty to her fans and got one of her top hits.
Yeah.
That should be telling. It should be telling to us teachers and writers who want to hide that stuff away, or songwriters who want to tuck that away, and we're missing our point of impact. That's what people connect with.
If you want to blow up your social media account, be vulnerable. No, I mean it's interesting because I do anyway, and I think most people do. We post the good things in our life. Understandably. It's like rejoice with those that rejoice, celebrate with those that celebrate. But it is in those moments. It's like I told you, I had a couple of standing ovations after a talk, but the most profound one was after I talked about my struggle with depression.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. That so connected with people in
Yep.
the room that they like in mass were like, thank you for sharing that. And maybe it's because we tend to look at the people on stage as heroes instead of anti-heroes.
Like Taylor.
Yeah, they're
This is Taylor saying I think I'm an anti-hero. I'm not, you've got me up on a pedestal. And
yeah.
you've got, and hit, I mean,
Literally, sometimes she
songwriter,
sings on a
manager.
pedestal.
Right, oh yes, I mean, but yes, that real moment where you put that out there and then suddenly it ends up being like one of her biggest hits ever. No surprise there. And I think that's again a part of, yeah, pick this song. I think this is just a fascinating.
I love your
Your
pick.
watch telling you something?
Well, my watch was telling me the phone call was coming in.
Oh, okay.
So it does that. I don't know if you're aware that watches tell you everything now.
We've gone, yeah, we got back to watches. I mean, I can't do it.
And I'm back to flip phones. It's like everyone's like, so the people on the trip
You-
this week, they're like, oh, fancy schmancy, a flip phone. I'm like, who would have ever thought those words would be spoken?
Right.
I've gone retro with a flip phone, and now it's the newest
And
record,
your flashy watch.
which nobody uses anymore.
That's right.
But
I haven't worn a watch since the Carter administration. It's just
well, did you ever have a Timex? You had a Timex, didn't you? They went back in the Carter administration.
like I'm going to remember what kind of
It's unlikely.
watch I had.
It's unlikely that you're going to remember that. So, how do we leave our listeners? What's their takeaway? I think the biggest takeaway is we're all anti-heroes. We're all flawed heroes. And don't let your flaws keep you from serving God and serving others, because that's really all he's got. A bunch of anti-heroes.
Right. And then just ask for the grace. It's not beat yourself up with your weakness. Give it to God, bring it to Him. And the funny thing, God wants to actually literally not use you in spite of that horrible decision,
Yep.
this addiction you have.
Yep.
No, God wants to work through that. But you've got to, if we're hiding it and we're not you can trust God with your doubts, your anger, your frustration, your addictions, your embarrassing decisions, the awful things you've thought. No need to hide those. Everything that in the Bible says, bring that to God, entrust it to Him, put it, and now He's going to take that and work through it. And that's why the enemy, I think, is trying to. God doesn't want to talk to you right now. God doesn't want to be anywhere near you because of all of these flaws and these terrible decisions, whatever. No, He's the Father waiting for you to come. He not only does He want to forgive them. Oh, he's at work for good in them. Your life has seen it. My life has seen it. Our listeners. That's your story too.
So let's all be confident anti-heroes and change the world. I mean, it is interesting, that Jesus looked at all those very flawed disciples and said, you're the light of the world. They're like, really? Us? I don't feel like we're the light of the world. I'm cool with you being the light of the world because you said that about yourself. But now he's like, passing the torch. You are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth.
Yep.
It's like this. Okay. It's like we're all fellow strugglers. And I remember when I was younger, I would definitely let my struggles kind of keep me from doing or feeling like I could do certain things. I have less of that going on now because I know now that I know the definition. I'm like, yeah, we're all just anti-heroes.
Yep.
So next week, Roger, the song's going to be. It's called Beautiful Things by a guy with B and B, some B in his name. Brian Baxter, Bill Belichick. I can't remember, but it is such a good song to talk about.
Okay. We've never put it out there a week in advance.
But we're doing it now, so we don't have to do that next week.
Beautiful Things by Be Somebody.
By Be Somebody. That's how we're going to finish today. Be somebody. Accept the risk. Yes. I love it.